Hi everybody, we're back for step 4. So before we get to our stenciling, we're going to add a little blue ink, sort of in a halo around the heart. So I take the other half of my sponge that I cut off before, put some blue ink on that, and then just go directly onto the surface of the heart. Okay, and we want to leave a halo on between the heart and the surface of the notebook. You can see that. Just a little bit of extra color there. When I was designing this notebook, I didn't want it to just be, browns and golds. I thought, well, we need some pops of color. So we brought the red in, and then still wanted more color. So found this really beautiful shade of blue, and I have to say, I really like how it turned out. It's really got some really vivid colors on it. Okay, so we're almost done here. The reason I'm using a sponge for this is because you can use the surface of the ink pad, but sometimes it's a little bit more harsh color than what you would want. You can't control it as easily when you're using a sponge. I find it's a little easier. Okay, great. So now what we're gonna do is use the stencil that you received in your kit. It's a little lattice stencil. Put that over the heart. Okay, we still have the other half of that cosmetic sponge that had the tea colored color shine on it. So we're not going to waste that. We're going to use the color that's left on that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want a little bit darker color than what's already on the book. So I'm going to have to make that darker. Okay. Now I am going to use the surface of the ink pad. Notice I'm just holding down one side of the stencil, and I don't want to go all the way out off the edge of the stencil. I want to keep these edges really soft, and by soft I mean when you go off the edge you tend to get a more harsh line. So I keep them within the stencil and just sort of don't do even bits here. So now don't be afraid to get dirty there with your fingers. See how I'm sort of smearing that line out so it doesn't look like a nice straight even line. Okay, there we go. You can see that. All right, let's also take that. We're gonna go up here to the top. I find whenever I do this kind of project and then I'm trying to reproduce the exact placement of everything, it never quite works out that way. I generally get color here or there and I like it, but mine's just going to be a little different than yours. There we go. A little bit more blue. All right, now we're going to do this on the back as well. We want some of that color and pattern on the back. Okay. And what I want to do is, if I want to line this stencil up, so I would take the last row and line that up with the first row on the stencil, put that in place. And then I can extend that. There we go. All right, now to the inside. There we go. And we're just moving this around pretty randomly. I like to have some extend off the edges and the corners. Okay, and then I'm going to go back with the blue. And then you can always just take that stencil when it's sort of got a different color on it with the blue and mix that in. Okay. There we go. We've got, I think, all of our stenciling taken care of. We got the outside and the inside. So we're gonna let that set for a few minutes, and then we're gonna come back for step 5. Don't forget your hands or wipes. Clean up your work surface, and we'll see you back for step 5.